Hey everyone, it's Melody with Design by Melody. I am here with the ninth layout I made with my Cocoa Daisy kit. Oh my god, I cannot talk today. So hopefully this whole process video does not go like this. But anyways, I made a 12 by 12 layout using some of the bits and scraps that were left in the kit. This is the ninth layout and I'm going to end up doing 10. The last one is going to be a project life process video. But I kind of used up the last bits and pieces in this layout and the last layout that I really thought I could use. This is the only layout where I actually pull out those buttons and use them, and I use two of them, two of the smallest ones in the kit. I just have a hard time with buttons. I don't know why, but I struggle with them. So I'm pulling out some of the bits and strips that are left. You can see this little pile on the right side of the screen. Those are kind of the little bits and pieces that I have left from all the papers that I used in the kit. I'm just going to kind of layer them up as some top and bottom borders, and then I'm going to fill the rest of the page basically with all the little circles that I cut out from one of the pattern papers. I love these acetate words, and so I'm just trying to see what I can use. These are the die cuts that were left from the kit. I'm just kind of playing around, looking at everything that's left and picking out some stuff that I like. Everything else that I don't plan to use is going into my little bucket here, and then I'll try to use that on the final layout, and if I don't, it's just going to go back in my stash. Nothing gets thrown away. Everything gets used or put in my stash, which then I will use later. Alright, so I pretty much knew I wanted to use these big circles that I cut out from the paper. So I thought about using one of those acetate words as my title, and then I decided, no, I want to use these puffy stickers that came in the kit. They're tall, they're skinny, and it really allows for you to do a little bit of a longer title. So my title is A Dad and His Boys. And what I decided to do, because this is kind of light and it doesn't draw a whole lot of attention, I'm going to cut out some of the little arrows from that arrow pattern paper and just point to that title. And then I'll use the little arrows in another place on the layout too, just to kind of bring in the same colors and the same element repeating. And then I'm just taking these circles and I'm just kind of laying them out. I'm not really being too particular about what color I use. I'm more so looking at what the title or what the words on them say, and then just making sure it's somewhat appropriate. And then the pieces that are half pieces, I'm just kind of sticking wherever makes sense. You know, if it's cut in half, then I'll put it on the left side of the page or on the right side of the page, or if the bottom's cut off, it goes on the bottom or the top, or whatever, you see it. So a lot of the words are things like, oh yeah, cool beans, you and me, crazy kids, love you more, most favorite, let it go, oh boy, yes. So those are kind of the ones that I use, and they're all just, they would all be appropriate for the photo. And this is just a photo of Ernest and his two boys just making faces, and this is truly kind of how they are. Ernest is being goofy, Kaylin's just happy and smiley, and then Jaheim's in the back trying to be cool. So those are kind of the faces. That's just their personalities. I mean, that this picture shows their personalities in a pretty much just in a nutshell. This is who they each are. And so I like this photo because of that. It's not the best quality photo. The lighting isn't very good, but it really captures their personality in a nutshell, their personalities in a nutshell. And so I really wanted to scrapbook this photo. So I try to take the twine that came in the kit and thread these buttons, and it so does not work. The twine, first of all, it's like it's a baker's twine. So first I try to use the whole piece of twine, and then I realize, oh yeah, this is too fat. It's not going to go through these buttonholes. So I decide to separate it and just use the white part of the twine. Well, then the twine starts fraying, and it was just a freaking nightmare. So I finally get this one threaded. I put a glue dot on the back just to kind of secure everything, and that's also how it's going to be glued down. Then I tackle the other one, and the other one was the same way. I just really struggled with it. Eventually I get it, and I give up on it, and I just keep going. But I do get it. I mean, I get it, but I give up on the method I was trying. I was struggling. Maybe that's one reason why I don't use buttons. I don't know. I have a hard time with them. Um, but anyways, there's kind of a teal and pink color family type of color scheme going on here. I pulled out a lot of different shades of those colors in this layout. It's like a teal, bluish teal kind of color, and then like a pinky peach kind of color, and that's kind of what I go with. So I pretty much have what I want. I'm happy with how this looks. So I'm just going to lay down all the little bits and pieces and glue everything down. This was very much a free go as you feel kind of layout to me. And I really am happy with the way that it turned out in the end. Now, if you've been watching my videos, you'll notice that I'm using my same Brother sticker maker to put the adhesive on the back of these acetate words. Now, if you'll notice, I'm changing this word, and the reason I'm changing this word is because I put the adhesive on the wrong side of the acetate piece. Yeah. I put it on the word noted, and I put the adhesive part on the part that's supposed to be face up. So, needless to say, can't use that piece, and because it's a sticker maker, it puts adhesive all over the entire thing, and you can't get it off. There's no way. So I give up on that noted, and I change it to BU, which is probably more appropriate anyways, because I was talking about how the photo really captures each of their individual personalities. So the BU is probably more appropriate anyways. So that was kind of a happy accident that ended up working out that way. The words, I mean, everything's not going exactly where I had it before on the layout, but it's going in the general place of where I had it. Now I put one of these little tabs up under the photo. There's two of them actually, but one of them is the same color blue as the puffy alpha stickers that I put my title in. I wanted to make sure that I include that blue in just a few different places on the layout. That one that says, that circle that says you and me is very similar to that blue as well. So it kind of has it up at the top left in that circle, on the tab to the right of the photo, and then at the bottom in the title. Just want to make sure it doesn't have to be in every cluster or anything, but I do want to make sure that the color is represented in a few places and not just one place on the layout. And that was kind of my reasoning whenever I chose to put that blue tab there right under the photo. Oh, and then that other sticker that I added just says, oh boy. Not sticker, circle that I added just says, oh boy. And then I did that go see do, and I made that a sticker as well and stuck it right here beside the photo. It doesn't really mean anything other than I just like the sentiment go see do, and it again just seems appropriate for the photo and for the boys. Right, as you can see, I have a lot of little bits and pieces that are hanging out around my craft table. Whenever I get to the end of the kit, this is how I like to work. I like having all the little bits and pieces sitting out. That way I can try to use up a few things. I know exactly what I'm working with. The things that I knew weren't going to work, I put back in that little white tray. And then everything else is just kind of sitting out around me. And that's really how I prefer to scrapbook whenever I'm scrapbooking. I like having everything out around me. It makes it very easy. I don't have to constantly turn around and look for things and try to figure out what I'm using. Or, I don't know, I don't have to think a whole lot. I just have to look at things, grab whatever catches my attention, and then I just keep going. And that's what works really well for me in my scrapbooking. And that's probably why I get a lot of pages done, because I try to make it easy on myself in the creative process. I don't like having to think too much. I just like it when it kind of flows, and that's when I'm happiest with my layouts as well. So I'm going to go ahead and trim off all the little bits and pieces that are on the edges that are just hanging out off the edges, and those will just get pushed over in my little scrap pile. And I'll continue to pull from those and kind of decide what I'm going to use with this kit or with the last kit or not the last kit, the last page that I made with this kit. I'm adding just a few little bits and pieces. I add an arrow at the top, and that's to kind of mimic those arrows at the bottom. And then I did add a little word strip that was off of one of the die cuts that came in the kit. And then I just add a few little bits of written information here. I add the just some information on the tabs, and then I go ahead and I do my journaling on that BU little journaling spot that I created. Now these are the planner stickers that came in the kit, and I'm just kind of flipping through looking to see if anything else really catches my attention. Is there anything else that I want to include? This page was not really busy because I had the white cardstock background, but I was just being aware of how much I was adding and making sure that I don't overdo it. Now I've been scrapbooking a lot here recently, and it's really made it to where my creative process just flows. It doesn't feel forced at all, and that is really nice when you get to that point. I don't normally feel forced when I'm scrapbooking, but I don't know if you guys are this way, but whenever I scrapbook, if it's been a while, sometimes it takes me a while to get back into the swing of things, and that's kind of what that's one reason why I continuously scrapbook. I try to make time for it, whether it's in my planner, or if it's whatever it is. I really try to just make time for some sort of creative bit. Now I didn't like that stamp that I did, so I cut off the little wording that's on the notepad there, and I just added it right over where I did that stamping. I meant for that stamping to be more gray, and it ended up being more of a spotty black because it just didn't stamp properly. I pulled in some of the little plus signs from the puffy word alphabet sticker sheet, and I put it up on that arrow. The arrow was empty, and it looked very empty, and this is just another way to pull that blue up to that top. Now, to complete this layout, I only added 2 things to this kit in order to make this a complete layout. One was the white cardstock that I use as my background, and 2 are these homemade enamel dots that I made with perler beads a long time ago. Other than that, everything is from the kit. Now I did pull up my little heart punch here, and I'm using some of the scraps that are on the right side of my table just to make those little hearts. And as you can see, I just took the little tiny bit of circle offcut that I had from some of those pieces, and I'm just putting them around the layout to fill in a few of those gaps. And those normally would be trash for the average scrapbooker, but for me, I like to keep all those little bits and pieces, because you never know when you just need a little tiny bit added somewhere just for added color or added texture or whatever. And that's when I'm almost done with the layout, I love to look at the little bits and pieces that I have left to see if any of it can actually add any value to the layout. And that is why I love scrapbooking. I think that's true scrapbooking. But anyways, all right, so that's not why I love scrapbooking, but that's one of the things I love about scrapbooking, I should say. Well, that completes the layout. Thank you so much for joining me today. Make sure you give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and make sure you hit the subscribe button, because I have a lot more videos lined up for you guys. All right, thank you so much. Bye.